Hey, sweeties. I am in a shitty mood, so I don't want any of your guff. You just pay attention and listen. This is for your benefit, not for mine. So, anyway, I thought it was time to give a bit of an update. It's not so glamorous, it's not so interesting, but when am I? 2 years along, something like that, since I decided to fuck with gender, opened the Pandora's box. Um, I have disidentified with queer. I have disidentified with feminism. Um, I've been living a life that is a little bit male, a little bit female. I don't talk to people about gender. I don't tell them about gender. I'm still dressing in a way that expresses myself. It's not the anonymity that gender puts on people. That at least middle class American gender. I'm not hiding anymore. I'm out, but it's a Jasper gender. It's not a male gender. It's not a female gender. I think that I've been doing a lot of history research because I found these different religions, Christian religions, that we're thinking of Adam from Adam and Eve as combined gender, as not having been split in gender. And so I've been studying Kabbalah. It's in Kabbalah. It's in Christian mysticism. It's in a lot of things from about 1700, from the Protestant Revolution. It seems to have been in. Oh fuck! The cat's fucking with my camera. It's go away, Arthur. It's oh my god, and now you're fucking with the light too. So anyway, oh cats. So anyway, I trace it back. Where I found it the earliest is about 400 BC, 385 in Plato, in Plato's Symposium. It's his myth, his Genesis myth, which has been immensely important for Western thought, and for Islamic thought, and for Christian thought. People have been reading this. But so in the Symposium, he has this guy called Aristophanes give a theory of gender and a theory of sexuality. So his theory of the beginning of gender is that in the beginning there were the circle people. We were all circle people. And in circle people were two beings that were fused together. They didn't call them two beings. They had two heads, four legs, four hands, and they rolled around like a ball. And they had two sets of genitals. And they were like face to face, so their bellies were together. They were like in a permanent embrace, but their heads turned the other direction. So they were very powerful. The gods didn't like it. Zeus, that fucker, he came up with a solution, and he took a wire and he cut the circle people in two. And so there were three kinds. There's like two kinds of homosexual circle people. So it's an early theory of homosexuality, 400 BC. But the one that interests me is the male-female dyads who are always longing for that union, who are always longing, and so that's also a theory of love, a theory of this strong urge. And he's talking about people for whom that's too strong, that urge to get back together, and he's actually stigmatizing heterosexuals, calling lecherers and adulterers, where the gay men are the great statesmen. The gay men had been split from two men, right? So, but anyway, so this theory, I kind of get it. It's kind of a theory of autogynephilia in a way, loving yourself as a woman or loving yourself as a man, wanting to get back to this mystical union. So this got interpreted into Adam and Eve. Adam Kadmon, primal man, original man, was man and woman. And so there's been a lot of Christian religions and other religions. But the interesting thing here is it's not a transgender theory. It's not genderqueer in the terms of oppositional or being strange. It's a theory of gender wholeness and gender healing. A theory of coming back together. It's God being both man and woman, and Jesus being both man and woman. The Moravians worshipped Mother Jesua, and they thought Jesus had a vagina as well as a penis. So, so this is my take for you. And that's what I'm thinking about. I'm studying all this stuff. It's on my blog if you care to look. Most people are too lazy for that. But, what's different about this is, first, it goes back in the Western tradition, it goes back to 1700s, and in the world tradition, it goes back at least to 400 BC. But it's this idea of a spiritual transcendence of gender. It's this idea from Plato that the true form is a union of gender, and that, in a way, this is a curse. That being a divided gender is a curse that Zeus brought upon us. So think about that for a while. I've become very disillusioned with feminism or queer or, genderqueer movements. Anything modeled on the 60s, on conflict, and on narcissistic celebration of self that we got in the 60s and in the Black Pride and then gay pride, and feminism kind of became a woman pride. All of these things are dividing a union. So what we're waiting for is, I found a group called the Communist Church from the 1830s, and they were waiting for the gender whole, the bi-gendered Messiah, the prophet, who they thought was Percy Shelley, or like Percy Shelley anyway. But so I'm not feeling much like a prophet. I've thought about it. I almost feel somebody needs to start using that language. I don't feel like doing it. Maybe you feel inspired to be the Messiah. Let me know if you find the Messiah. One more thing, this is getting long. But this kind of bi-gender thing, it goes deep. It goes deep into Mormonism. It goes deep through a lot of the religions of the Pentecostal, and that they come from this 1700 stuff that was really quite radical about gender. So I'm wondering if we can get all of those people to get to Burning Man and bring all the Mormons to Burning Man. And, maybe we can start this again, reboot. Okay, bye. And remember, I put a huge amount of work into this history on my blog. I've uncovered all kinds of things that have never been put in the same place together. I have changed the world and nobody gives a fuck. So, maybe you will, and maybe you're the Messiah. I don't know. Have a good night. Bye-bye.